If nothing changes right now before January, well, brother, you're not quitting porn in 2026. Not because you're weak, not because porn is too powerful, but because you're about to repeat the same identity in a brand new year. And I know that stings, and it's good. It's supposed to. Because right now, men all over the world are convincing themselves that next year, something will be different, all while doing absolutely nothing different today. Here's the truth. January is dangerous, not because it's hard, but because it gives men false hope, a clean slate, a fresh start, a new calendar that tricks you into thinking momentum magically appears at midnight. But the truth is, January doesn't change men. Decisions do. For most men listening right now, January becomes the month where they talk about change instead of becoming the man who actually lives that change. Here's a stat that most men don't want to look at. Over 80% of new resolutions fail by February. Most fail within the first 2 weeks. Why? Because resolutions are built on motivation, and motivation collapses the moment stress, boredom, loneliness, or temptation shows up. Porn doesn't disappear in January. Stress doesn't disappear. Isolation doesn't disappear. So if your plan is this year, I'll try harder, you've already lost. The men who change don't rely solely on hope. They build structure, identity, and accountability. And that's where most men go wrong. So that's what I'm going to talk about today, guys. Welcome to the Rebuilt Man podcast. My name is Coach Frank Rich, founder and host here. And in the last 6 years, we've dedicated our lives to helping men just like you caught up in the depths of pornography addiction. And our systems and frameworks have helped over 1,700 men capture back the freedom in their lives that they ultimately deserve, quit porn for good, and rebuild their identities. And today we're exposing the 10 biggest mistakes that men make when trying to quit porn. Mistakes that you've probably made in the past and mistakes that I want to help you prevent making again in 2026. And as we approach this new year, I know all of us are setting New Year's resolutions, New Year goals. And my hope and desire for you is that you do something differently because I know you deserve something more. So the 10 biggest mistakes here that men make when trying to quit porn, it starts with mistake number 1 as we approach January, and it's thinking that a new year automatically makes you a new man. You keep believing the calendar will do what you want. January 1st doesn't rewrite habits. It doesn't rewire identity. It doesn't heal old patterns. If you wake up on January 1st as the same man with the same routines, with the same triggers, with the same isolation, brother, you will get the same results. Yes, it's a new year, but it's the same loop. You have to change who you are, and it starts with your identity. Mistake number 2 that men keep making is they keep planning instead of deciding. Most men aren't stuck because they don't have a plan. They're stuck because they refuse to decide, to cut off. Planning feels safe. Deciding will cost them something, and that something that's going to cost you is the current version of yourself. Decision forces you to confront comfort, exposure, and real accountability. So men hide in planning mode and they call it progress all the time. But nothing changes until something finally changes. Mistake number 3 is you've known this is a problem for years and still haven't acted on it. You've known for years, and this hurts, that you felt the conviction, you've seen the damage, and you've promised yourself that you would stop. And yet here you are. This isn't ignorance, it's avoidance. And the longer you delay action, the more deeply this becomes who you really are. Mistake number 4 is you keep trying to do this alone. Every relapse has the same root, and it's isolation. You disappear, you withdraw, you convince yourself you'll handle it quietly this time or next time. But addiction feeds itself in secrecy. That connection that you need, that brotherhood, is what's going to kill it. No man, and I mean no man, has ever beaten pornography alone, and you're not going to be the first to do it. Mistake number 5 is you're chasing sobriety instead of pursuing freedom. Most men are trying to manage porn, not eliminate the desire for it. They count days, they white knuckle urges, they fight temptation daily. That's not freedom, that's a prison with better discipline. Free men don't fight porn anymore. They no longer want it. Mistake number 6 is you're trying to stop a behavior without rebuilding a new identity. You keep asking the question, how do I stop watching porn? It's the wrong one. The real question is, who is the man who doesn't need it anymore? Until your identity changes, your behaviors will always return back to the default setting. Mistake number 7 is you rely on motivation instead of building real structure. Motivation disappears the moment life gets heavy. Structure holds when your emotions won't. If your strategy depends on how you feel and you don't have a strategy, you have a wish. Freedoms require systems, daily standards, non-negotiables. Mistake number 8 is you keep treating relapses as failures instead of feedback. So when you slip, you spiral out of control. Shame, self-hatred, self-doubt, more withdrawal. Relapse isn't proof that you're broken. It's proof that your systems are weak. But instead of fixing the system, you attack yourself, and that's where you stay stuck. And mistake number 9 is you confuse more information with transformation. Brother, you're loaded with all the knowledge, the podcasts, the scriptures, the books, the quotes, but yet nothing has changed. It's because information doesn't transform men. Real action does. Truth without obedience becomes self-deception. Mistake number 10, you say you want freedom, but you're not willing to change your life. This is the root. You want that freedom that you deserve without the discomfort that's necessary. You want change without sacrifice. You want growth without exposure. That life doesn't exist. Freedom is going to cost you something. And until you're willing to pay it, porn will keep collecting its interest. The solution is becoming a rebuilt man and rebooting your life. And that's exactly why the Rebuilt Man community exists. It's not to manage addictions. It's not to babysit relapses, but to rebuild the men from the inside out. Our Reboot Your Life framework isn't about quitting porn. It's about rebuilding identity, creating structure, establishing brotherhood, and becoming the man that porn cannot compete with any longer. And that's why it works. And I know this because over 1,700 men have gone through this process and changed their lives, not by trying harder, but becoming something different. What I've created here is not a recovery culture, it's transformation. And yes, I say that confidently. The Rebuilt Man is the #1 program in the world for men who are serious about freedom. So here's my challenge to you today. If you're tired of repeating the same year, if you're done making promises that you can't keep, if you're done and ready to stop living like the man that you've been, take the first step. Join the Rebuilt Man Brotherhood on School today. There's no pressure, there's no fluff, there's just structure, brotherhood, and accountability, real leadership. The best part, if you join us today, you get 7 days for free. The link is below. Visit school.com/reboot your life, because this is where change actually starts. 2026 isn't going to decide who you become. You will. And if you do nothing, nothing will change. But if you act now, this can be the year that everything finally breaks open. Click the link below. Visit that school.com/reboot your life. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside of the Brotherhood.